Hey everybody, I'm back with another video, and today what I'm going to be talking about is the Robert Kennedy Jr. talking about his candidacy, his presidential candidacy, as well as Marianne Williamson. I'm going to go over just kind of the issues going on with those two, about how the mainstream media is trying to kind of downplay their candidacy to make them not seem legitimate. The DNC is trying to cancel their debates because they don't want to have Joe Biden's competency or incompetency exposed. And debates are very important, right? Like we need to hear from all candidates, not just the incumbent nominee. Just because Joe Biden is the incumbent president does not mean he's going to win again. And a lot of the people these days just seem to really, not like to have discussions unless it something that they agree with. But if someone has different ideas, they don't seem to take too kindly of it. I think that needs to change, because I think that discussion and debate is very important. And let's go over some reasons here, what I like about both candidates. So as far as RFK, he's very well spoken, he shows respect, he's well mannered, and he certainly has compassion for the American people and their issues. He's very anti-war, which I'm a big fan of. I do not like war. I don't think that we should be in any wars unless we absolutely need to be in terms of self-defense. But this isn't self-defense what we're doing. It's creating offense, really, and I don't think that's right. And when RFK first announced, he did talk about the collaboration between big corporations and big government and how that needs to end. And I think that's a very, very powerful issue. I don't think that anything in politics can be fixed until we have the big corporations and taking away the collaboration from the big corporations with big government. Anytime that happens, really you just have the big corporations getting their way, which essentially is socialism for the rich, which is not what we want. That's not a successful system, especially if you're in the middle class. That's actually kind of burying us right now, and that needs to stop for sure. He acknowledges the election integrity and how both parties should do everything they can to make sure that people trust the system, because it is very important that we have election integrity. And the thing about RFK Jr. and Marianne Williamson is that if these guys do, or if one of these candidates does get into the presidential seat, or even just as the Democratic nominee, I mean, goodbye Donald Trump. Right, like if you want Donald Trump to go away, this is how it's done, because you're not going to have, independents, kind of in the middle people, libertarians, populists. They're not going to pick Donald Trump over RFK Jr. or Marianne Williamson. So you're going to have a huge swing of votes going from maybe people who wouldn't vote or people who would vote libertarian, moving over to RFK. Or Marianne Williamson, and you would even have some people who are like on the slightly left or slightly right center kind of thing, that maybe they would vote for Donald Trump if Joe Biden was the nominee, but they won't vote for Donald Trump if it's Marianne Williamson or RFK Jr., which I think is a very positive thing. I also like how he calls out, he thinks it's okay that you can take alternative medications. Based off YouTube's policies, I'm not going to go too far into that, but I think that alternative medication, especially for mental health, is always something that should be pushed for sure. In terms of the other stuff he talks about, well, that's again, I'm not sure what exactly we can say about that here on this channel. In terms of Marianne Williamson, again, she has a very strong personality. She doesn't back down. She's very fiery in debates. I was watching her. She had this interview with Chris Hannity on Fox, and she wouldn't back down. He was trying to play this little trap game with her, pretending she's a Marxist and all that, which she's not. She specifically mentioned that she wants to just kind of modify capitalism to make it more ethical for the average person, and that's exactly what we need. So I agree with that. She's also anti-war. She believes in debates and having the democratic process, not just, hey, the incumbent should get in, or at least have a strong advantage. They want to debate and discuss things, which again is very important. She believes in an economic change, like I was saying before. She wants to achieve this through capitalism, but again in an ethical way. And that the well-being of the people is more important than record-breaking profits. We need to make profits, we need to make money. But when people are in trouble, we need to kind of back down, help people, still make your money, but in terms of record-breaking profits, like, we need to kind of back off with that in certain situations. But I'm all for businesses making money, as much money as they can. She wants to lower taxes for the middle class. And she gave an example on Fox saying that she wants people who make an extra 50 million, or sorry, people who make 50 million or more to pay an extra 2% in taxes. Now, that's pretty reasonable, right? I've heard a lot of people go on and say how that they want, 80% tax for the rich, and, she just wants an extra 2%, which is $1 million on 50 million. And $1 million from everyone who makes 50 million, you could really do some damage and, start to fix some problems here. And she also supports the idea, that we should not be getting oil or selling arms to countries who hate America. And she wants to take money from the military-industrial complex and invest it into other areas like our economy, the environment, things like that, which, again, taking money from the military-industrial complex is something that I'm definitely for, not against. So, yeah, I mean, again, these candidates are very strong in my opinion. Kennedy right now is polling at, I believe, 20%. Marianne Williamson is about 10%. And that's before they've even really started to get things rolling. So it's only going to go up from there. The more Joe Biden speaks, the more his numbers are going to go down, unless the results start to change in his favor, but they're not going to. I just think that this is a real opportunity for Democrats, for people who are kind of in the middle of the line, libertarians, populists. This is an excellent opportunity to get some real candidates in here, and to not only take out Joe Biden, but Donald Trump in the process, to be honest with you. Marianne or RFK Jr. would be way better than both of them combined. There's no question about that. Alright guys, and that's the end of the video for today. I'm going to be doing another video probably tomorrow. I'm going to start talking a little bit more about mental health, and Canadian politics as well. Since I am Canadian, I know I've talked about American politics a little bit so far, but I am going to be talking quite a bit about Canadian politics as well, as it's getting kind of interesting up here. So again, thanks for watching, and I will be back later.